Hey guys, we're going to talk about a couple points today that I really don't think anyone's touched on or even really looked at. But before we do that, huge shout out to all of you guys for, subscribing and doing everything that you guys do and making this channel everything that it is. Along with that, I am working on getting the Discords up. I have one of my friends who is going to be a little more tech savvy than me helping me set that up, and also hopefully finish the Patreon stuff. So that's not all quite done yet, but we're working towards it. It's just taking a little longer than I expected. With that being said, let's jump right in till Dusk Till Dawn. Now, here's a big thing that I don't think really anyone has noticed or even looked at and isn't talking about. And that is, out of the last two supplemental sets, which were on the back of talent sets, we got very few talent cards in both of those sets. In Everfest, we got really no talent cards, and in Dynasty, we got even less. So how many are we going to get in Dusk Till Dawn? Now, Dusk Till Dawn is based around Monarch, and should be set up to give us more cards for Monarch. But my question is, are we really going to get a lot more talent cards, or is it going to be a traditional supplemental set where everybody gets support and we really don't get any new talent type cards for Monarch and Shadow? And, we don't get anything. So I'm really concerned that there is a huge, window here that we're not going to get a whole lot of talent cards for the Light and Shadow heroes. Like, yeah, we'll get staple cards, generics that all warriors can use, and so on and so forth, but I'm not really sure if we're going to get a lot of talent cards in this set. It is actually very concerning that there is a possibility that there won't be very many. I do think there will be some, but I wonder how many there really will be, is what I'm getting at. Because if you look at the last two sets that were literally set up after talent sets, we got hardly any. We got very, very few. In Everfest, we got an equipment piece and nothing else really. And in Dynasty, we got 4 extra cards, 5 total, if you include like the equipment and stuff. But there's not a whole lot that we got out of the original supplemental sets that were on the back of those talent systems. So it's very concerning for me. And then we move over to the new card that got released because of the new armory kit that's coming out. And that shows me how bad it could be for Runeblade and how much more power they're handing to Runeblade to potentially just dominate the meta again. Now, we don't know what his ability is, and we don't know how easy or hard it will be to pull off, but from what we know in the past, Runeblade stuff is not hard to fire most times. It's not hard to trigger, and when we get a card and we get weapons like this, it's going to set Runeblade up to completely dominate the meta again. And I don't know how I feel about that. There has to be a point where the game is balanced. It cannot keep siding more one way or the other. And that's all it has done in the history of the game. Now, in the game's defense, and I will defend the game before anything else, is it's still young. It only has 10 sets. And I understand that. But at some point, we need a balance. We need to hit this equal to where not all heroes are fair, but you can make a favorable matchup out of the cards in your sideboard for CC and or Blitz, where you can just build a deck that can kind of go toe-to-toe with everybody in some kind of way. And we're not at that point yet. And we need to get there, or the game needs to get there, for a lot of players to be able to really enjoy the game and not just play the game and get frustrated because I go to my armory events that play commoner and all I see is dash. Or I go to my blitz events and all I see is, certain ninjas or other classes like that that are just dominating the meta. Rangers right now are causing a lot of problems in blitz. And that's the big thing, is we need to find this balance to where all decks can build a good enough deck to play on somewhat of an equal footing. Maybe not always a 100% 50-50, but, at least a 60-30, something that makes it a little more, or 60-40, my bad, mathing wrong today, a 60-40 that makes it a little bit more of a, you know, okay, there's a chance I can play this. I don't need to make mistakes. If he makes mistakes, I can take advantage of it. And there's not a lot of that right now. There are still matchups that you go into, and you're not, it's like a 10% chance for you and a 90% chance for them. But with all of that being said, everything still looks fantastic and fun moving into the future of the game. The game looks like it could be awesome with what they're doing and what directions they're going. It's just a matter of whether we get there fast enough so that there's not more big issues and problems to the game. With that being said, guys, I will catch you guys on the flip side.